to watch the ships depart, and many of them are people who are saying farewell to members of their family, and I'm joined by two people like that right now. Jennifer McCarty and Tina Branton are both here to say farewell to a sailor on the Charlottetown. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about the sailor.
Well, it's Jason Branton, the able seaman. He's been on the ship for 3 years, and he's actually only been home for 3 months from another 6-month deployment, so this is going to be gone for 12 months out of 15, so a little hard.
So how is he feeling about this mission?
I think he's a little anxious. I think he's proud to be going, but at the same time, he just got back, so he doesn't really want to go, but we're proud of him.
Now, this is your fiancé. How are you feeling about all of this today?
A little nervous, a little unsettled, but...
Now, I also have Jason's sister-in-law here. Tina, your thoughts on why you decided to come down here today?
Well, Jason is a very special part of my life, and I just wanted to come offer support for Jennifer and for Jason.
What has it been like for the families getting ready for this departure day?
Hectic, nervous, being proud too, but it was sad, very sad.
And how will you manage in his absence? What do you do to cope?
I'll be watching a lot of news just to make sure that he's safe and the ships are safe, and watching just to make sure no other ships get deployed in the meantime.
And how about for you, Jennifer? How will you cope while he's away?
Oh, well, thank God we have email, so we can keep in touch over that and back and forth. He has a phone he can call once in a while if we're lucky. So.
Well, I thank you both so much for your time here today. Peter, as I mentioned, just two of the many people who are already gathering here on Purdy's Wharf, very near the dockyards, to say some farewells.
All right, Linda, thanks very much. We'll be back to you a little bit later. You know, it's a proud day for many Canadians as they watch their forces leaving for an important role to play on the other side of the world. But as Linda points out with her guests, it's also a very emotional day, especially for the thousands and thousands of loved ones whose relatives are heading overseas at a critical time. Well, we mentioned Rob Gordon just a few minutes ago. Let's bring him in. He's also in Halifax Harbor today. Rob, give us a sense of what you can tell us of what you know in terms of this mission. How long is it going to take them to get on station in the Arabian Sea?
Well, as you had mentioned, Peter, they're going to leave Halifax and they're going to a naval exercise area just off the coast. They'll spend up to 2 days there testing their weapons, firing their guns, maybe even doing some missile firing tests. Then they're going to move across to the Mediterranean, go through Gibraltar into the Mediterranean, and then through the Suez Canal, through the Red Sea, and into the Arabian Sea area. Now, that will take a month to get on station. What the Navy can't tell me or anybody at this point is exactly where this fleet is going. Will it be going up into the Persian Gulf and working with an American carrier task group? We don't know that at this point, and I don't think the Navy knows that either. Or will it be staying down in the Arabian Sea and working that area on patrol, perhaps again with another American carrier group? But it will be about a month before they get there. Meanwhile, of course, HMCS Halifax is on the way there. It's my information. Could be there by the end of the week. Peter?
What do we actually know about, obviously the location, as you say, is still to be determined, but once they're there, whatever the location, what do we know about the role they'll perform?
Well, one of the key roles that the Canadian Navy performs, especially when it works with the United States Navy, is to escort or work with a U.S. carrier task group. The Canadian Navy is the only Navy in the world that's been invited in the past to join U.S. carrier task groups and be totally integrated in the task group. And that's likely what they'll do this time. And by integration, I mean that the Canadian Navy ships are capable, because of very advanced communication systems and sensors that they have on board their ships, to real-time link data and exchange data with the U.S. forces. This is something the U.S. insists on, and it's something that our Navy could do. Now, while they're working with the U.S. carriers, they would be doing things like something called radar picket, standing well off the U.S. carrier, using the ship's radars to extend the coverage of the carrier, looking for suspicious ships, submarines if there's any in the area, suspicious aircraft, and then alerting the carrier. Peter?
All right, Rob, thanks very much. We'll get back to you a little later and talk some more about all this. Rob Gordon in Halifax Harbor for us again today. Well, let's go back. Ian Hannah-Mansing has some special guests with him. Ian.
Yes, Peter, and as we mentioned, there are so many families around here going through a fairly emotional time as they say goodbye to husbands and wives. In your case, a husband and a father, Master Corporal Stephen Dent, who is on the HMCS Preserver behind us, and Joanne Stapleton. Tell me a little bit about your feelings as you say goodbye to your husband.
Well, today is, the weather is fitting, and we're going to miss him. He's been gone for quite some time now. He just finished a NATO. He's been home for a month and a half, and he'll be going again. As we see right now, it's a little bit difficult for us, but it's what we do. It's what we do as military members. We try and just defend our freedom and our rights.
Your husband is based in Shearwater, and he's the mechanic who helps keep, I guess, the Sea Kings aloft. And has he been on any kind of exercise before that he equates to this mission? Anything that, as he was talking to you, he said felt particularly got him ready for the uncertainty he has ahead of him?
Well, basically all the missions they go through, everything is serious, everything is heartfelt. They put everything they have into it, and they work as hard as they can. So I don't feel any mission is any more serious than another mission. They work the same amount. They try and strive for the same goals, and that's just what they do.
Chris Ann, you're 13 years old. You've seen your dad away on these various missions, particularly I think over the last couple of years. You said goodbye to him a short while ago. How was that?
It was really hard, but if he has to do it, he has to do it. It's really hard, but you got to learn to live with it.
Did you have any sense when he came back from the last NATO assignment that he would be away so quickly?
Absolutely not. It's been a month and a half, so we assumed that it would be some time, actually probably his last time, because normally the air debts, they do 2 years on the ship as attached to the ships. So he finished his time, and now he'll just have to prolong it a bit more.
And can you give me a sense at all about the other families here? You obviously have been talking to some of them, and how are they coping with saying goodbye for, many weeks?
Something we're accustomed to. People don't understand as far as the military is concerned. That's what we do. We sacrifice things for our families, and we sacrifice things for our country. And that's what our husbands and the other military members that are here and that work all around the world, that's what we do. We do it for our families, we do it for our country, and we certainly do it for each other, our freedom. That's what we strive for.
And Chris Ann, for a lot of people who never have to say goodbye to their fathers or mothers for long stints, a lot of people go away on trips, but few for as many months as your dad's been away. What did you do in terms of preparing? Did you wrap the Christmas gifts already? Did you promise to send emails? What sort of things do you do to promise to keep in touch over the next few months?
Well, he phones us and we email him, but you can't really get ready for anything like this. You never know what's going to happen, so it's just taking it day by day, so you never know, really.
And we've given him his birthday gifts, which is coming, and hopefully at Christmas we'll do up a big package and send it. It's not our first Christmas, so hopefully it'll be our last for a while.
Our last one apart.
For a while, but we know this thing, it will happen again. So we just become accustomed to it. That's our way of life.
So the family of Master Corporal Stephen Dent, who's heading out on the ship behind us on another mission, one of many, particularly over the last 2 years. Peter?
Thanks, Ian. That was a really revealing conversation because I think we those of us on Civvy Street, as the military people call us, those of us who aren't in the military forget, I think, what it's like for the families. And I think the Dent family in that conversation with Ian has really given us a good indication, especially what, the open-ended nature of an assignment like this. They have no idea how long their father and husband is going to be away, and then the same is obviously the case for the thousands of other Canadian Forces men and women who are involved in this, about 2,000 all told. It is a sacrifice that all the families make, as they say, as a family, but also they do it for the military and for the country. We do have no idea how long this assignment may last. It's not like those of us who go away on a business trip or a vacation. We know when we're coming back. In this case, they don't know when they're coming back, and the families have to deal with that kind of pressure as well over these weeks, months, and who knows, possibly years that lie ahead. Well, let's get more perspective and context on what's happening today. Let's go back to Linda Kelly. Linda?
Thank you, Peter. I'm here on the wharf with Glenn Chamberlain, a retired lieutenant commander from the military. Glenn, you were in the military when the Persian Gulf deployment happened.
We've seen quite a difference. It's been quite a change for the Canadian Navy over the last 10 years or so. 10 years ago, when the ships were getting ready to go to the Gulf, there was a great hustle and bustle around the dockyard to get the ships ready, to get ships that really had never been intended to go over to a part of the world like that, to a, as we say in the military, a threat scenario like they were seeing. So they were strapping on missile systems, buying things off the open market that they could put on the ships at the last minute to send them. The difference this year is the training of the crews and the equipment of the ships is ready to go at a moment's notice. The last week has been taken up with getting ready, getting all the...
I'm sorry, we have to break away here.
Okay.
All right, Linda, we'll get back to you and to...